On the issue now, as far as Jammu and Kashmir, and this coming in from the area of Punj, which is along the line of control between India and Pakistan, 13-year-old Mohammad Iqbal, he was grievously injured in a shell explosion. He was then forced to travel in a passenger bus after the one and only ambulance service available in the district turned out to be defunct. Victim of an unexploded Pakistani shelling that went off suddenly, bleeding grievously. He was injured. This young boy in pain for almost an hour and a half in wait for an ambulance that didn't turn up. The reason being the district's only ambulance that had been defunct for the last 20 days with a damaged tire. Almost a month's time. The schoolboys struggle for life in the district hospital. Locals have once again raised the issue about the pathetic conditions of medical facilities in this area and of course other affected areas in Jammu and Kashmir as well.
परेशानी एम्बुलेंस नहीं इधर आज भी एक मतलब बच्चा आया था तो बोलने लगे इसका गाड़ी का टायर पंचर है और इधर एक डॉक्टर था डॉक्टर रियाज वो भी इधर से उठाया वो मंडी छोड़ दिया और इधर कोई इंतजाम नहीं है।
सर इसमें बहुत सी प्रॉब्लम आती है। पहले नंबर एम्बुलेंस की प्रॉब्लम है। एम्बुलेंस यहाँ पे पहले नंबर टायर पंचर होता है। अगर टायर पंचर भी वो यादाश्त साहब हैं वो ठीक करवा के लाते हैं। उसके बाद ये रास्ते से जाती है कोई मरीज लेने के लिए तो रास्ते में 3-4 जगह ही खराब होती है। बॉर्डर पे जो है रात को भी फायरिंग होती है और दिन को भी फायरिंग होती है। तो यहाँ पे पहले नंबर एम्बुलेंस होनी चाहिए कि हम लोगों को दिक्कत ना आए।
मुझे जो मेडिकल डिपार्टमेंट में अफसोस से कहना पड़ता है 1 घंटा तक वहाँ पे इनकी एम्बुलेंस नहीं पहुँची और कोई कान जूं तक नहीं रही कि इनके कान पे कि किसी की जान जा रही है वहाँ पे जाकर हमें उसको बचाना चाहिए। लेकिन फिर हमने प्राइवेट गाड़ी लेकर टाटा मोबाइल तो उसमें अपना ये एक मेटाडोर लेकर उसमें हमने हॉस्पिटल तक पहुँचाया इसको। तो मैं इस पे इस हुकूमत को कहना चाहता हूँ कि लोगों का खास ख्याल रखें और जैसे आप ये कर रहे हैं तो इस हालात ये बड़ा मुश्किल है, लोगों में बड़ी मायूसी है।
Let's get in further details from our senior correspondent Pradeep with more on that. Pradeep, this isn't the first time such nature of medical apathy that has been reported from these areas, sensitive areas which regularly face shelling from across the border. It's a question of maintaining an emergency vehicle in a service such as an ambulance for which the hospital should be held responsible for.
Seher, you're absolutely right. This shocking story, in fact, narrates the sorry state of healthcare system here in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It is really a criminal negligence on the part of the state government that they are not providing the emergency services to the people who are, in fact, off and on being hit by the shells from across the border. This is a shelling-prone area. Normally, here they should have the well-maintained ambulance because anytime there can be casualty, often we have seen that the injured are rushed to the hospital. And here in this case, this 13-year-old boy, he was lying profusely bleeding for about 1.5 hours and his parents were helpless. They had no other option but they had to wait for the passenger bus so that they can shift him to the hospital in Punj district because the only ambulance that was having the deflated tires lying dumped inside the hospital. And this is not that this thing had happened on the very same day, but this had been the situation of the ambulance for the last 20 days. And despite several reminders, authorities hardly seem to do anything in this regard. It clearly indicates that whatever tall claims are made by the Mehbooba Mufti government of having so many welfare schemes totally fall flat when it comes to the healthcare as well as education care system.
Absolutely.
This is not the first time we have been reporting
this is
about
also a question of when you have the state government
department.
continuously reiterating that funds are being sent out, doctors are being hired, qualified doctors and given primary health centers being hired as well. It's perhaps a clear sign of corruption in the system here as well, if you have the state government also allocating funds for the maintenance here.
No doubt about that, because if you are saying something and you are not able to translate your words into action, the situation on the ground is totally different. And that itself shows the failure of the state government to ensure the welfare of the people, because these are the basic amenities to be provided to the patient for the patient care. One is that they need to have the doctors. We have already reported about that 184 primary health centers are without doctors. The other thing is about the medicine. In many of the health centers, the fake and the spurious drugs are being supplied. Normally, this thing should not have happened in any of the states. And the third thing is now even the emergency system, like the ambulance, is not available. And this is the area, this Bandi Chichi area is just close to a line of control, and this 13-year-old boy was injured in an explosion because of the unexploded shell fired from across the border.
That's
and
right.
for 1.5 hours, because in such a situation, every second matters, and you can very well understand what the parents must be going through
Absolutely.
while their son
And
is
the
lying in
number
front
of
of them,
injuries here
profusely
that are
bleeding, and
reported
their help is not
required
able
on
to do
emergency
anything
basis,
because
given
they
that
can't
shelling
just get into the
continues from
hospital,
across
because
the
the
border
reason
there.
being that the only
Absolutely.
ambulance is
Pradeep,
lying
we'll have to
around
leave it at that. Many thanks for getting us inputs on that side.